Ba-da-da-da, ba-da-ba-ba. Alright, it is batch prepping day. As you know, I'm doing a 7-day potato reset next week. And in order to do that, I need to have lots of pre-cooked potatoes ready to go. Typically, my favorite way to batch prep some potatoes these days is in the pressure cooker. But I've got 15 pounds of potatoes soaking in the sink right now, and this thing maybe holds 5. So, that's a problem. Ellie, what's the matter? This is my giant baby and she's bored. Do you want to go for a walk? Yeah. Because I got distracted by the dog, I forgot to tell you what my plan was. So I ended up deciding that I'm going to do 2 batches of pressure cooked potatoes and 1 batch of oven baked potatoes. Alright, you want to put it on seal, pressure cook for 11 minutes. If you're pressure cooking yellow potatoes, you might want to go a little less on the pressure cooking time, maybe 10 or 9 minutes, and also depending on the size. So if you have a bunch of little nugget potatoes, definitely want to go a lot less because then they just get really mushy if you overcook them. 400. Then you either want to use a knife or a fork to just stab these so they don't explode in the oven. I like to stab them, get some pent up frustrations out. These are ready to bake. I'm just gonna put these aside for later. These are the ones I'm gonna take the yucky stuff off, and they're gonna become mashed potatoes. Alright, you ready to go for your walk, Ellie Valley? Alright, you guys are next. You gotta wait here though, okay? Okay, I'll be back. Okay. My walk took a little longer than I expected. The potatoes have been in there for an excess of 14 minutes, so I probably don't even have to release pressure. Oh, maybe I do. Let's see. Probably not a lot. Yeah, very little. That's okay. Oh. See how it's cracked there? That's when it gets a little overdone. Whew. Okay, gonna let that cool off. Take out, who's going next? Huh? You or you? You like your little old lady walks? Yeah. Nice and slow, lollygag and sniff, sniff, sniff. Get off the dandelions. Alright, so what you do is you either store them in a container like this with no lid, or put them in the fridge on the rack. The reason why I don't put a lid is they'll get more wet with the lid on, so condensation will happen. So I'm gonna let them cool off a little more before we put them in the fridge. I actually forgot about the potatoes in the oven, so they're a little bit overdone. Okay. Yeah, see how the skin is crunchy? You don't want that, but I think they'll be okay. These are the kind, like when they get crispy like this, I want to store them in a container with a lid so that they can retain some of the moisture. You want to just really press into a container. I really like this container because it's nice and squared off. Because tomorrow when it's cold, we can take this whole container and put it upside down. We can cut fry shapes. Alright, so what I have prepared for the next, I'm trying to think how long this is going to last me. 15 pounds of potatoes should roughly last me about 3 days and 1 meal. So 3.5 days, about that. We got the mashed potato. I had a little extra, so that went into here, and I made sure to really press it in there. And then we got the pressure cooker potatoes. And the oven ones, I don't have any containers left, so I went into a Ziploc. And you can see there's already some condensation in there, which is good because these were a little dry. If you're gonna be batch prepping today, you might as well cut up some veggies. Lately I've been just adding romaine lettuce, like I've been just making crunchy potatoes and throwing it on top of a salad. That's kind of what I've been into lately, so I'm not gonna prepare any vegetables ahead of time. But I also have some frozen veggies, some frozen rice, cauliflower, rice, zucchini, rice, broccoli. So I can just throw those in there as well. Another thing I usually have on hand, but I don't right now, is baby spinach. I usually get the big containers of organic baby spinach, which is really handy for hash browns, things like that. Other nice things to add to hash browns: mushrooms, shredded zucchini. Again, if you have riced veggies in the freezer, that works really well too. Alright, so let's talk about some of the things that you can make out of these leftover potatoes and why I love having pre-cooked potatoes already ready to go, because it just makes life so much easier and you can make lots of yummy, crispy things out of these leftover potatoes. So first things first is the mashed potato, which I like to call potato. Ellie, why are you crying? You can make pizza crust, and you can make a fully compliant pizza on the potato reset, which is awesome, which is in this book, of course, and also there's a recipe on my YouTube channel as well. And you can make fries out of these, and just have to credit Mandy and Andrew Taylor, aka Spudfit, for coming up with this recipe because it's absolutely genius. Alright, so with these are great for shredding. I find oven baked potatoes the best for shredding, and I typically don't shred my leftover pressure cooked potatoes just because I find them to be a little bit on the softer side. The skins are very soft, and I find the skins are nice and tough on the oven baked ones, making it a little safer on your fingers when shredding. So what I like to do with leftover pressure cooked potatoes is, number one, they're good enough to eat cold. So if you're in a pinch and you're on the run, you just gotta grab a snack because you know you gotta go and run some errands. Literally grab a couple of leftover cold potatoes from the fridge and just take them with you. What I love doing with these is making what I call smash hash, and it's just an alternative way to making shredded potatoes, and honestly it's the easiest way. It's my favorite way. So I have videos on that, so I'll link those down below as well. Any videos referenced, I will link them down below. I hope this gives you some ideas on how to get prepared. Now, of course, you can always cook your potatoes from fresh, but I find it's more limiting. You know, I feel like cutting up a fresh potato and making fries out of them, oven baked, aren't as good as if you use some leftover potatoes that are already cooked all the way through, and all you have to do is get them crispy on the outside. So I feel like the texture is much better. Oh, crispy smashed wedges, that's another favorite of mine, which I will link down below. So yeah, I will see some of you in the Facebook group this week, and I think that's it. I gotta take my dog, it's time to take my dogs for another walk.